I tend to thrive in that live setting. You know, so many times when I finished a show, I'm drenched with sweat and I feel like, you know, that was it. That's what I've been after all these years. And yet I leave it behind, you know, in a pool of sweat on the stage. I've got to conjure it all up again tomorrow and the next night. And sometimes that's a little frustrating. It's a good day when you feel like you've left the studio and someone recorded every little, you know, blip and bit of it. That's certainly the case with Little Moon.
I'm gonna wake up with a smile. I'm gonna wake up with the sun all bright. I'm gonna wake up with a smile. Open the shade, let in the light. Good morning, happiness. Good morning, happiness. Yes. Good morning, happiness. What a fine day.
In many ways, this one is a long time coming. You kind of pray for all of the elements to fall together, the songs, the recording, state of mind, all of that kind of stuff. Sometimes you get a few of those pieces. In the case of this album, it all kind of coalesced, you know.
What a fine day. How far, little moon? Just a rocket away. 3 nights and a day is all, little moon, little moon.
I think of this album, Little Moon, as being, you know, the little album that could. Because it almost didn't happen, you know, the budget was teeny and yet we all had a lot of ambition going into it. And I think we really lived up to all of our ambitions.
Oh baby, don't you know we've all got hidden treasures? Do you remember such a time? Before it was a sin to call yourself a dreamer, and treasure was a thing to hide.
I think you have to get to a certain point where you trust yourself before you can really trust everyone around you, before you can reach out and say, you know, I really need a hand here. If this thing is going to surprise me and surpass my expectations, then I need to open up the doors and let some new energy in. That's kind of the spirit of this album.
It ain't the same old Cold War, Harry.
I've always loved Grant's music. I like Grant Lee Buffalo I was a big fan, and Jay was a huge fan. I think he turned me on to the band. And we sat around and listened to Grant Lee Buffalo before I even knew Grant. It's a real pleasure to actually find myself in this position, you know, to actually be part of music with someone who I loved as a fan. The hardest thing about producing a record is having good material. I mean, anyone will tell you that. It's the easiest thing in the world to make a good record with good songs, and Grant brought in great songs.
I definitely feel like this is the best batch that I've ever assembled, and I would go as far as to say this is the album of my career, you know. I'm not aching and moaning to crank out another album next week, and that's kind of a first in my whole life. I'm quite willing to wear this one around for a long, long time until it wears out.
That feels good.
Feels good.
That feels good.